Hello everyone. So today I'm doing a what I've read so far in the mid-year because it's halfway through the year and we've done a lot and been through a lot. The first book I read was The Naturals and I read it on January 15 and I rated it 4.25 stars. That's a pretty good rating for a book, especially for a first book. The second book I read was Killer Instinct. I rated it 4 stars and I read it on February 12th. I took a long break. I don't know why, but I did. Just for the summer was the next book that I read, third book I read. It was 4 stars and I finished it on February 16th. Part of Your World I read. Part of Your World I read next and I read it on February 20 and I rated it 4 stars. Exception to the Rule is part of a Miku 6 book series that I read and I rated it 2 stars. Royal Valentine is part of the same series and I read it on February 22nd as well and I rated it 3 stars. Next book I read was The Worst Wingman Ever and I rated that 2.5, read it on February 23rd. With Any Luck, I also read on the same day, the 23rd, and I rated it 1.75. Those, like that whole series, I rated it really low for some reason. And they're all by different authors, and I don't know what I thought about it. I didn't really like that series. Duolingo scared me. I read was Divine Rivals on February 28th. Yeah, and I rated it 4.5 stars. And after that, I read Hello Stranger on February 26th. I rated it 3.75. Ruthless Vows was the next book I read. Also on February 28th, and I rated it 3.5 stars. Caraval was on March 10th. I had another break for reading for some reason. And I rated it 4.75. And then the next book was my first 5-star of the year. All In on March 10th. That was such a good book. Oh my gosh. My friend and I were like kind of reading it at the same time, so that made it even more like fun, I guess. It was so much fun. It was such a good book. I loved it. It was amazing. And after that, I read The Giver on March 30th. I had another 20-day break, and I rated it 4 stars. I read The Giver for school, so I don't know if it really did justice for that book, but I really liked it. So afterwards, I read that same day I finished Funny Story. I guess I've been reading Funny Story for a long time, because I remember it taking a while, because I didn't really like it. Help me, because I didn't like the book. Kill me, sue me. Legendary on March 31st I read and I rated it 2.75 stars. It was my least favorite in the series. The Caraval series, I like the Caraval series better than the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Caraval, it was just more me, and yeah. And then I read Finale on April 5th and I rated it 3.5 stars. It's tied for I really liked the second one, the last one though. I liked it, but it wasn't the same. It didn't really, I don't know. I like that we got Scarlett's perspective. I like Scarlett better than Donatella. It's an unpopular opinion, but it's a real opinion. Spectacular I read on the same day. I finished that book, finished Finale before I left. I was going to dance that day and I took Spectacular in the car. I don't take books in the car anymore because I get dizzy, but I did anyways then, and it was good. I liked it. It wasn't like a 5-star, but it was a good enough 3-star. It was Powerless, and I finished it on April 7th, and it was another 5-star. I love the Powerless trilogy. Oh my god. And the next book I read was Once Upon a Broken Heart on April 29th. I took another break for reading. It was just that Once Upon a Broken Heart, it was gut-wrenching and I didn't really like it. unpopular opinion. Once Upon a Broken Heart is overrated. You heard it. It's just what I think. I just think it's much better. I just think Caraval was much more for me, and that's why I liked it more. There's 4 on May 1st, and I rated it 2.25 stars. The book's just a Ballad of Never After. I rated it 1.25. I told you I didn't like the series. I don't know. I just thought that seeing Jax after Caraval, spoilers. Sorry, seeing Jax after Caraval, it just didn't hit right for me. Jax, I don't really like Jax. Jax made me mad. Like, why would I don't get it. I guess that people wanted to give Jax a happy ending, but I don't like him as a character. Like, he only eats apples. Apples aren't even good. Hot take again. Powerful is the next book in the Powerless trilogy, but it's the novella, Adina story. I read that on May 9, and I rated it 4 stars. So that's like better for me. I read Reckless on May 22nd, and I rated 4.5 stars, that's pretty good. It was not my favorite, but I really liked it. I don't know. It's just the proximity of it, the close proximity, closed proximity. That really helped me. And then the next book I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder on May 24th, and I rated it 4 stars. That was really good. I liked it. I liked the series. I finished the series. Crashed out a few times, but it was good. After that, I read Bad Blood, which is the last book in the Naturals. Sue me. Loved it. 4.5 stars. Then I read Fearless, which third 5-star of the year on May 22nd. May 26th. I read Fearless on May 26th, and I rated it 5 stars. It was such a good book. Oh my gosh! If I don't convince you to read it, if you haven't read it, just by my reaction, do it! This summer I turned pretty, alongside of Misha. We were reading it together, and we're buddy reading it, and then we're watching the show. She's just now done with the first one, and that was on May 29th, and I rated it 3.5 stars. That's pretty good. For like a younger kid's book. It's not a younger kid's book. It's probably one of the only books of my thing that's actually for my age. But I don't care. After that, I read Good Girl, Bad Blood on June 1st. And I rated it 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I don't remember. It was just the fact that like it's always who you don't expect. I expected it, honestly. As soon as I knew, I'm not spoiler, sorry. As soon as someone new moved in, knew it. I was like, it has to be them. I had my guard off of them when it happened, but it was them. I knew it. After that, I read 12, the Naturals novella at the end. It was good. 2.5 stars. Next book I read was Rosie and the Dreamboat on June 2nd. The same day I finished 12 because I finished it, so I wanted to read another book. What am I on? No. Rosie and the Dreamboat for me was a 2-star. And then I read Yours Truly in June. And Rosie and the Dreamboat and Yours Truly, it didn't tell me what day it was, so I just put June. I read it in June. I rated Betting, and then I rated Yours Truly. I rated Yours Truly 3 stars, and I read Betting on You, which is my book. Ooh. Betting on You is my 4th 5-star. I loved Betting on You, and I read that on June 15th. I love Betting on You because Charlie, okay, Charlie, don't get me started. Charlie. Yeah, it was originally 4.75, and I would just randomly just start singing the song in between, because that song reminds me of the characters. It's like, it's so cute. Okay. And I felt like I was Bailey Mitchell, like, while reading. I was like, he just did not just do that. And I had a few panic attacks, crash outs. For that, I read Better Than the Movies on June 15th. I read that as audiobook, and I rated it 4 stars. It wasn't as good to me as Betting on You, because I don't know, I just don't really like it. The title made sense, and so same for betting on You, but Betting on You was more like, I like Charlie Sampson better than Wes Bennett, even though they're from the the same author. And then after that, I read As Good as Dead on June 16th, and I rated it 3.75 stars. Loved it. I was like, when I figured out I knew who it was, just like connections made sense to me, and rated 3.75 stars. Then I read Better Than Before, which is the Better Than the Movies novella thing. It's from the past though. It was Bailey's point of view, and then Charlie's point of view, and then Wes's point of view, and then Liz's point of view. So I got the whole thing. Loved it. But I like Better Than the Prom more. Better Than Prom I read on the same day, because it was just a novella. It was 20 pages, so I could read that in one day, and I rated it 4 stars. Nothing Like the Movies I read on June 17th. Yeah, June 17th, and I rated it June. Nothing Like the Movies I read on June 18th, and I rated it 3.75 stars. And then I read The 7-Year Slip on June 18th and rated it 3.5 stars. And yeah, that's every single book I've read so far this video. I'll see you guys next week with another video. Bye!